burps.
Oh, well.
See, like that was weak.
That was,
I don't think I've burped on the show yet.
It was all.
I think I'm going to have to make that happen today.
Today's the day.
Today's the day.
And,
So,
you know,
so it's just the burps. I mean, you don't want to.
no.
I mean, if you hit a pure note like that, then I'm kind of okay with it.
Oh my gosh, that's that first fart sound on the podcast.
Is it? Yeah,
Yes,
it probably is.
It is. It is.
I mean, I just feel like we've been doing this long enough now that,
That somebody would have done it.
Oh, and that's perfected, by the way.
Okay.
I feel like that's part of your military training.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's not a family show.
Whatever you have.
All right, so
As
we-
Annie learned, it's not a family show.
the FCC will not be getting involved.
No. So let's do it.
Shit, fuck, bitch, cock balls.
Okay, George Carlin. George Carlin.
No better time to start than
Yeah.
that.
Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, promotional products and design. They cover your brand bumper to bumper with graphic design, promo products, and print. See what Dire Oil Graphics can build for you at direoil.com. That's DYEROIL.com.
Smooth jazz.
Smooth.
Shout out to one of the best Uber drivers in Kansas City. It's Jonathan doing the voiceover. He did it for $50.
Oh, nice.
Has he
Thanks,
had
Jonathan.
beers too as payment?
No, I gave him cash money. This is before we had beer to give him.
Oh, okay. So he got in early. He got the early rate.
I'd love to have him come on and mystery beer bag guy come on as well.
Yeah. You know what? We should get them both.
Mystery
That should be a
beer bag
twofer.
guy?
You'll find out.
You're gonna learn the mystery bag story.
You're going to learn today.
Okay.
I love the mystery beer bag.
It's not, this ain't
Love's
okay,
kind of a weird word to use there.
you didn't send this guy like last week, did you?
No, not at all.
Okay, because we had a bad experience.
You got
last
to put
week.
that microphone to your mouth, bro.
Hey.
There you go. Welcome to Beers with Nigel, the show about beer and other stuff.
And other things.
And other things.
Stuff. Whatever.
I'm Nigel. That's Nick.
I'm Nick.
We got-
Hey, we got it right this time.
Sometimes
we mix up our own names.
Because here we are, separated at birth. I texted him something this morning. He was like, I was going to text you the same thing. Told you. Same mama.
Same wavelength.
Wow.
So we're on the road
I think I
again.
like your mom better.
I don't know.
Mom swap?
Whoa. I think that's already been a TV show.
That's a different.
That was wife
show.
swap. That was wife
Oh,
swap.
Dang it.
Mom swap would be fun, though.
Do you remember the one that Dave Chappelle did?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to have to go back and look at that one.
Yeah. That's a
I
throwback.
feel like every time we bring up Chappelle, that we go off the rails.
Yeah. Like this show that
And
go
at
off the rails.
at 48 seconds in.
Yeah. So welcome to the show. We're
Callsign Brewing
up in
North
KC. Yeah.
My first time in this
And
space.
we've got a couple of guests. What we called you? What we called you? The founder, brewer, president.
Founder, CEO. I've got a partner as well.
Okay.
But for the most part, it started off with, just me kind of brewing the beers. And nowadays, because the operation's gotten so big,
Yeah.
I can't do everything.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was also flying for the Air Force. And I'm still a locomotive engineer for a major Class 1 railroad. So
part Jamaican. You
Okay,
got
wait a minute,
24,
like
24 job.
Wait. Before we move on, I'm a little excited here. Like the little kid in me, like you were a pilot and a trained engineer.
That's awesome.
look-
like all the coolest jobs ever.
And a brewer.
And a brewer.
And a brewer.
Well, I'm sorry, flight engineer. So I sat between the pilots.
That's still cool.
So here it is.
You were
Flight
in
engineer?
the cockpit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I sat between the pilots.
Yeah.
And I was a flight engineer, locomotive engineer, and a beer engineer.
Beer engineer. Got it.
Beer engineer.
I mean, this is my first hero we've had
If
on,
they're
actually.
wondering who we're talking to, this is Steve. How do you pronounce your last name?
Sirois.
That's what I thought. Sirois.
Steve Sirois.
Steve Sirois.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, bro.
Hey, thank you very much.
We've been
Pleasure
talking
to be
about
here.
this for a long time.
Yeah. It's been a while.
I've known you for a while now because when you were at the other place, there might have been some shenanigans at the brewery earlier in the game.
Did it involve a chicken?
We'll get to that.
Wow.
Yes, it did.
I wish I had a chicken drop.
You know
That
what?
really to hit
I
him.
will send you the video. Oh, and you could.
Oh yeah,
Throw it on
it pops
Is
up
there,
on.
is,
Yeah.
there, is there video of chicken
Oh,
shenanigans?
there
Chicken
is.
shenanigans.
There is.
By the way, our new
Is the
spin-off show, Chicken Shenanigans with Nigel.
Is the chicken retired now?
Oh no.
Just back there chilling.
It's just back there chilling. Matter of fact, we're going to take that to a whole nother level. We're going to actually have a guest book we're going to have pictures and also a certificate saying I choked a chicken at Callsign.
Oh, I love it.
Love it. That's great.
I love it.
And in that video, let's see. So Stephanie was
Yep,
there.
runner Steph.
And
There we go.
Nice one.
That's when you're having that breakfast.
Felt a little forced, but
That was not
nice.
forced. That was coming out on its own.
But also,
I don't force burps. Weirdo. Sorry, Steve. This is
it's all right. Also, Rodney's in that video.
Oh yeah. R.I.P. Rodney.
Yep.
We have another voice on the
We
pod.
do.
Annie McGinnis, operations.
What is your actual title? I just call you the head honcho
I
at Pine
am
Street.
co-owner and director of operations.
Yeah.
Nice.
AKA
That is a nice sounding
AKA
title.
It is.
brewery queen at Vine Street Brewing.
I like that one better.
Let's go with that.
And
I like
and the
that
woman
one.
behind the bass logger.
the bass lager.
I'm sorry.
I'm actually I'm sad that the beer is gone, but I'm also really happy that it's gone.
Gone?
Base Lady is gone. Yes.
I'm glad I got some on Sunday.
That was when it blew.
Yeah.
Kegs blew that
Yeah.
day.
I know.
Steve,
I
did you
kid
have
with
it?
kid by calling it bass lady,
Stout with lavender.
but it's so good.
Stout with lavender.
It was
That's-
fire.
Wow.
Here's how good it is.
Fire.
I don't usually like things with lavender,
Well,
but I loved that one.
on what day do you have anything with lavender? Unless you're at Starbucks.
Lots of
Well,
people
no.
have lavender drinks. There's lavender in a lot of gins.
The last time I had lavender was in a soap.
Did you ate it? Got it.
I washed with it.
Well, maybe his mom washed his mouth out with soap.
Lavender soap.
Well,
It's definitely something that can be overbearing if
Yes.
it's not watched carefully.
Kinda like
It can
cilantro.
yeah, exactly.
Speaking of soap.
It can take over a flavor.
Yeah.
And Elliot timed it perfect and pulled out the lavender just in time.
Elliot's good at what he does. I'm just going to call
Speaking
it.
of engineer and sciencey brains,
Yeah.
that's Elliot.
That's
Yeah.
Elliot.
So
All
let's
day.
get into Steve's story. So the Callsign brand.
Oh, man, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I should have just let that one go.
Yeah. But before that, we always love the question of people, what got you into craft beer? What were you drinking before you discovered craft? And what was the thing that
man.
turned you on?
I wasn't even looking to brew beer. My family at the time, it was back in 2011, and I got a 1-gallon beer brewing kit for Father's Day.
From where? Was it Mr. Beer?
No, it was one step above Mr. Beer.
Oh, the one from
Williams Sonoma. Yes, Williams Sonoma, Bed Bath & Beyond. Matter of fact, it was everyday IPA, man. He made this shit on a fucking stovetop, right?
Yeah.
And it comes with a thermometer in a 1-gallon jug, and it came out like total dog shit. It really did, but I was intrigued. So that didn't stop me. Right after that, I was like, okay, this is bad, but let's pick up a book. Let's read how to do this. And I bought a very, very mediocre 5-gallon homebrew kit and made a few batches. It came out, and you just learn more, brew more, and then the equipment started getting better. I mean, when the beers were getting better, the equipment started getting bigger. So after a year or two, we went to a 10-gallon homebrew kit.
Oh, okay.
And then we upgraded that after about a year and went to 15, then 25 gallons, and
Lord,
then
damn.
45 gallons.
Whoa.
That's a lot of homebrew.
Oh, yeah.
You guys drink a lot of beer.
My neighbors either loved me or hated me for it because I had so much beer, and they'd be walking across the street. Hey, I got some beer. No, it's fresh. All right. And then
That's
8
like
hours.
one of those things where one of the neighbors likes and the spouse is mad at you.
Yeah. So, anyways, the 45-gallon homebrew system that I built is now our test batch system here.
Wow.
Back 2 years before we opened up our original location, I actually built a brewery in my basement so I could actually learn how to brew beer on a bigger system other than a homebrew kit. So fermenters with glycol that temperature controlled, and made a lot of beer that way. And that's how we did it.
So let's back up though. That's big balling right there, right? I was a homer.
So you had plans in your back of your head already.
No, well, you see, not at this point because
dude, you don't go from 5 to 45
Well,
and
you
not
see,
have plans.
it's time because it takes you almost the same amount of time to do a 5-gallon batch as it does a 45-gallon batch. Maybe a little bit more time, and beers were just being given away so rapidly, and that's how we did it. And it wasn't until 2015 when we decided to actually do this as a business. And this is magical. This is kind of crazy. This is one of our stories, and this is where, what put me on the map. Matter of fact, I'm going to pause right now. I do need to get a sample of this because it goes along with the story, and you'll appreciate it here in a second.
Okay, I'm talking amongst yourselves.
Wow. Yeah.
This has never happened.
We're gonna well, I mean, we've had some breaks. We've had some breaks.
Yeah, that one time somebody ran into your car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that was early on. We're in the vault recording.
Yeah.
And there's somebody just hanging in that window.
They put a sticky note on there.
And like trying to get our attention, but not knocking. They were being nice. They didn't knock on the glass or anything. But then there's this sticky note.
So I hit your car.
Somebody, they backed in the lot. They backed out and hit my car.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can't. Those are stories you
know
can't
what,
just
though?
make up.
They've bought tickets for the event.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of the event.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk
about that.
Annie's,
Sorry,
you're on fire today.
I'm very burpy right now.
You are gaseous.
Listen. Yes, April 12th, 13th.
April 12th and 13th. Annie, what's going on?
Oh my goodness! So we are putting on, probably one of the best, I don't know, beer events in forever.
It's the most unique thing that's ever been done in Kansas City beer-wise.
We are bringing in some of the best black-owned breweries and big names in the brewing industry, bring them here to Kansas City, show off Kansas City beer scene, and then putting on this event that's going to help 3 big organizations. So it's the 12th. We're going to do a podcast with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Do we have a podcast?
I think we have a podcast.
With
we might get obnoxious on microphones. I don't know.
On our patio at Vine Street Brewing. And then going to do this bottle share that's going to be on a whole nother level. I actually just got a message from Alyssa from
Rhythm
Brewing. She's sending in some beer.
Oh, Lady Lager's bringing beer.
Lady Lager's bringing some beer.
I just got goosebumps.
You are in for a treat, Annie.
I'm so excited to meet her.
First of all, the beer, but you are in for a treat. You are going to love her.
She's going to be my mentor, I think.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know that anybody could have a more badass mentor.
I hope she would do it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Seriously, like she has a great mind for it, but also like this just strength of will. I will do this.
And just a fun person.
And she's just a badass human.
Yeah.
I'm excited to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Nick bought her lunch at Barrel and Flow, but that didn't help. But we've been trying to get her on the podcast for 2 years.
Look, I'm gonna fess up now. We've made this joke for a while. I was fanboying.
So was I.
It was
fanboyed last time.
It was a fanboy move to buy her lunch. It really was. I mean,
I'm sure. She's a powerful woman.
Awesome.
And I've spoken to her on the phone just a few times, interchanged some emails, but watching her on social media is just,
She's
I get
badass.
goosebumps. Yeah, I'm so excited.
You get goosebumps watching social media? Wait till you meet her.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't.
I know. We've met so many amazing people at that Barrel and Flow festival.
She's in the category of
she's HOF in my book.
Force of Nature.
Oh
yeah.
Like Melissa Cole.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Melissa Cole. Just badass women in the brew community that you're like, okay, heard, chef.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So then on the 13th, we are going to do the screening at the Gym Theater for One Pint at a Time documentary.
Great documentary. And apparently, did you hear?
Yes.
There's a new
cut that we're going to get very first time.
That we're getting the new cut of the film.
I had not heard this.
Yes.
Oh yeah. He did it solely stealth, to go the military term. On one of our posts, he did just a comment. Hey, but by the way, it's a new cut of the movie. I'm like,
no one's seen it.
Okay, and no one's seen it except for us.
You know, I love a little breaking news.
That's where. So yeah, the film's at 4.
Film starts at 4, and then we'll do a little panel discussion afterwards, and then the after party will be at Vine Street.
Well,
again.
Let's talk about who's coming to town.
Nice.
Dave Bracey,
Ed Bailey,
founders of Barrel and Flow, the #1 brew fest in the United States.
2 years running.
They're coming to town.
Nice.
A.L. Sharpton.
Wait. Let's don't sell Ed and Day short.
As long as you didn't finger me, we're good.
Podcast daddies.
Oh, it's our podcast daddies.
I mean, they are the inspiration. They're why you said I got to go do a show back.
Yeah, and if you've never heard their podcast, Drinking Partners, go check it out.
Now we can get to the great Ale Sharpton.
Yeah, Ale Sharpton, one of the biggest influences in the Southeast. He only brewed a beer with New Belgium. Yeah, it's fine. He just brewed a beer with them, which I had in 2019. It was fire.
And a prolific writer. I mean, you've seen his stuff.
And just a social media guy. And, of course, the filmmakers are coming to town, which is huge.
Nice.
Right.
Aaron Brigitte.
Tio
Hunter
from Crowns and Hops.
Crowns and Hops is one of the biggest beer brands without having a brick and mortar place.
I don't even know that you need the caveat. They might be one of the top beer brands in the country.
Easily.
Yeah.
Their beer's in SoFi Stadium. Get the hell out of here.
Nice.
What? Yeah. Who does that?
For their very first Super Bowl at SoFi,
Heard.
their beer was being poured.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Who else? Oh, Jonathan, Cajun Fire, who I met years ago on the parade route during Mardi Gras.
Which is one of my favorite stories. My first time ever.
It's in the film.
We're watching One Pint at a time.
Oh, really?
And Nigel starts elbowing me. I was there.
So we go to this party every year, and it's on this corner, and I was like, who is this brother pouring beer? That's when it started. And it's that shit's in the film. I was like, I was there.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's wild. Anyway, who am I missing? Oh, we talked about Elisa.
Well, we are missing. Speaking of stealth, the Henny
Ninja.
The Henny Ninja, Aubrey Perry, is coming in. Founder of Crackum Beer.
Crackum, yeah. Crackham's a big beer app in the Southeast in Florida. They do a whole beer trail based on the Crackum, and it's black owned, which is kind of cool. And he loves Hennessy. I'm sure he'll be bringing some Hennessy White for us.
Look, if you get your tickets and you're just hanging out at one of the events, and a guy just appears magically beside you
with a little knapsack,
with a little fanny pack,
and
he pops out a bottle of white Henny, your answer is yes. Just take it. Just take the shot.
Okay.
You want it.
Yep. I keep burping. I'm sorry.
Nice.
Anyway, Steve.
Yes.
Steve's back.
So
back
I'm
again.
back. Yes.
So you were talking about one of your early things.
Yeah. So as the progression of the brewing system got bigger and bigger, myself with Morris Lonson, Dave Schumacher, Michael Wells, Noah Stegall.
OGs, man.
Yep. We broke off from the Northland Brew Crew and created the Missouri Mashers. So,
No shit.
Yeah, there was probably about, 6 or 8 of us that originally broke off, and we did our own thing. And the beer club kind of grew.
Yeah.
And back in the day, 2015, we were getting ready to do the Zona Rosa Beer Fest. We wanted to kind of break off from the homebrewers and do our own thing, but Morris and I were trying to think of a niche garage brewery name, and nothing came up. So we were brewing 2 of the 4 beers that night, and during the first batch, I was telling Morris about all the losses that I've endured during my military career. I would need both of my hands, both of your hands, one of your hands to know how many people that I've known that never came home from a flight, whether it was a shoot down or a crash or whatnot. And halfway through that batch, Morris goes, hey, why don't we do something for that McConnell Air Force Base crew that we lost back in 2013 in Kyrgyzstan? So the airplane took off and it fell apart in flight. It was a maintenance issue. It was a jet that both Morris and I had time on. So, all right, Mo, that's a great idea. In fact, let's name it after its call sign. So Shell 77 Imperial IPA was born that day. That was like our first official beer name, our first brand. And so both Morris and I both have time on that tail that went down. We started brewing the second batch, and I got to hear all of Morris's losses. And at the end of that one, he goes, hey, why don't we just name all of our beers after call signs and call it Callsign Brewing?
Yeah.
And let's take it a step further as homebrewers, because beer is a great segue to conversation. So if we ever encounter somebody that, is down or needs help, let's point them in the right direction. So after that, it was like, let's come up with some labels, a logo, and a mission statement. And we did. And back then, our labels. So for those of you that don't know what a call sign is, it's kind of like United Airlines 225 from Kansas City to L.A. It identifies that crew with that mission, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
You know, it could be the same airplane going from, taking off the next day with a whole different call sign. But anyways, it identifies that crew, that aircraft, and that mission. And back then, our labels.
Uh-oh. Jambalaya.
Thank God there's post-editing.
We don't edit, sorry.
We try to do very little work on this episode.
So back then, we used to actually have a stencil of the aircraft that we were representing, all the people that were killed on it.
Oh, wow.
And the date of the crash and all that stuff. So that's what our labels looked like in 2015. And so there we were at the Zona Rosa Beer Fest 2 months later, four flavors of beer, our mission statement, our logo, and we were ready to go. And 3 things happened that day that made us decide to do this. So the first thing is this guy comes up, and he pretty much bullies his way to the front of the line. He's like real excited. So, hey, I understand that you got a story about your beers.
Yeah.
I do. That's kind of rude, but I do. And so I was telling him about one certain beer that we were doing. I think it was Wrath 1-1 that I was talking about. He goes, no. Tell me about this one here. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Komodo 1-1. It's a brown ale. It's named after a helicopter that crashed in Afghanistan in 2003. And I was going through the story, and halfway through the story, I look up, and he's like, "Stop, dude. Stop. I know the story. My wife was on it."
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Bam. Are you Taylor Widows'
Wow.
widow? He goes, yeah. And we got into talking about the whole knock on the door that he received after the crash. And his 15-year-old son was there, and his son was probably about 3 when she passed. Kid hugs me. He goes, "Nobody's done anything for my mom since she died. Thanks. This means a lot."
Goodness.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so that kind of boom, struck us right there. Well, about a half hour later, another guy shows up, and this is an Air Force fighter pilot. And he was intrigued by our logo. It's got here it is.
It's on the shirt.
It's on the shirt. And so he's like, "I'm just checking you guys out, seeing what you guys are all about." And we start talking about helicopters, and it turns out that his father was my commander when I was flying helicopters as a flight engineer in Long Island, New York. And not to mention, he looked down at that label, and he goes, "Holy crap, man. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go get my wife." So he shows up with his wife about 5 minutes later, and he gives her this label. And her eyes got huge. And she goes, "Oh, my God, that was Jason's helicopter. That was their call sign." And there at the corner was Jason's name, Jason Hicks. "Oh. Ma'am, are you Jason Hicks' widow?"
Wow.
Because she just started crying. It's like, "Oh, my God.
Wow.
Were you related to anybody?" She goes, "Yeah." "So are you Jason Hicks' widow?" "Yes, I am. Did you know him?" "Ma'am, I went through flight school, with him back in 2000. I did know him." And then she just kind of let it rain. But there was also the first group, 6 Army guys that showed up. And forgot to tell this part because this kind of starts the story. But they read our mission statement. They come to the front of the line, get their sample, back of the line, front, back. They do this for about a half hour straight. And then after about a half hour, the older gentleman out of the group comes around the table, hugs me, goes, "Man, thank you for what you're doing. You're keeping their names alive. I appreciate that." Then he backs up, and he gives me that slow salute.
Oh, wow.
And then a tear, falls out of it, from his face, and it's like, wow. But Jason Hicks' widow, when she saw that, it was like, how do you respond to that? First of all, having 2 people from the same crash.
Yeah, at the same time.
At the same time in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Right.
And after everybody left, Morris is like, "What do we do?" Hey,
right.
We make this shit happen.
Yeah.
And sure enough, man, back in 2017, I put everything together, got the business plan going, got a couple grants, got a few loans, got some volunteer help to build out the first location. And we were up and going in about a year.
Yeah.
We were supposed to open up sooner, but I was still flying. So that was during hurricane season. So I was gone for 3 months. Let's see, to Texas, then Florida, then Puerto Rico doing hurricane relief. So that kind of set us back a little bit. But 2018, we finally opened. And, it was a small battle, but, the location was smaller. It was about 3,000 square feet. And now we're 23,000 square feet. But we did everything on a shoestring budget, and we made it happen.
But it was a great spot, though.
It was a great spot. We had to be on a street that was a little bit busier, so that's why we're here on Burlington now. But Gentry was a good spot. It was a good place to kind of get a foundation started, and it worked.
I was one of my favorite stories. I was talking to my dad, Air Force, retired, SP. And he's just learned about breweries. So he lives in San Antonio. He went to Weathered Souls. That's his spot now. But I was telling him one of my favorite things about going to your place the first time, the chalkboard.
Yeah.
And you walk in, if you have anybody in the service, you could write their name on the chalkboard.
Wow, that's cool.
And so I put my dad's name up there. I was like, that's so cool to see. Yeah, it's a brewery, but it's representing a whole lot more than just beer.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so.
That has to be one of the most incredible stories I've ever heard.
Thank you.
I've goosebumps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Well, I mean, look,
My goodness.
we all want the businesses, the things we do to mean something. But,
Yeah.
I mean, right off the bat to know, oh, shit, this really does mean something to somebody.
Well,
Yeah.
And I mean, we all have family or have served. I would assume it still gets you.
Yes,
Oh,
it does. I get choked up every time.
Yeah.
Now, I did bring out 4 brown ales.
Yeah.
Now, we had to change up the labels just because there's too many call signs to represent. There's not enough beer styles. So from the original Komodo 1-1 brown ale, 2 things. First off, the recipe was never changed. This is the same exact recipe for the original Komodo 1-1. It's just now called the Bomber Brown Ale. At this point, I'd like to raise my glass.
Okay, heard.
And for those that have never returned, cheers.
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 And secondly, the stuff about, people suffering from PTSD, that did, I guess a bit, I get choked up every time I talk about this one because this is important to me. And that's why, American Brewed, when it comes on, it's not just going to be about beer, but it's going to be PTSD survival stories. The first year we were open, we had our first annual service dog fundraiser. And talking to William, the guy that we were sponsoring, it's $2,500 for one dog. And William's like, yeah, I've got some issues, but I barely get out of bed, but I've got to train with this dog for an entire year. Hopefully the dog gets sponsored because now I'm looking forward to every Wednesday getting up and training with the dog. And lo and behold, we raised enough money that day for 2 dogs. And 6 months later, I'm at Walmart exchanging some items. I'm waiting in line, and a guy shows up behind me with a service dog. Like, sir, cool. Hey, you mind me asking, your dog was it provided by Patriot Paws or Battle Buddies? He looks at me and smiles. He goes, Steve, it's me, William. Didn't even recognize the guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had the color back to his face. He was groomed. He looked good. He was back in society, and we got into talking about what the dog did for him, and he makes a statement. He goes, I know a lot of people think it's just a dumb dog, but I needed time to heal, and the dog did this for me, and I'm glad it worked out because Steve, 2 weeks before I got the dog, I had a 9mm to my face, and I almost pulled the trigger, and I'm glad I didn't.
Wow.
And thanks for saving my life because it did change my life.
Yeah.
And after that, it's like, that just made all of this worth it. And William, he was like, everything's better now. Matter of fact, I'm at the time graduating from his second police academy to become a dispatcher. So he was, looking good, and we made a difference in his life. And up to this day, we are credited for raising enough money through events for 17 service dogs in a tiny home for Veterans Community Project.
Wow. Way to go. Good on you.
Thank you.
And it goes back to what we do. It's about the stories. Yeah, beer is the through line, but it's the stories.
It's just a doorway, man.
Yeah, it's just
opening the door.
And so we've been talking about you for a while because I'm like, because I've known you for several years now.
Don't believe it.
Was that a burp?
No, I said don't believe it.
What'd you say? I heard a burp before that. Who was that?
No burps.
No.
Was that burp?
You just ruined the moment. Thanks, Nigel.
Sorry.
You just killed the whole moment.
No, I didn't. I'll bring it back. No, it's. I knew you. I've known you for several years now.
Yeah.
Since
Matter of fact, I think it was
the
the first year that I opened up Callsign.
Yeah, and I'm like, you've always had stories. And we did Red Sash.
We did Red Sash.
Obviously,
but I think that's the only
military related
veteran owned.
Yeah,
that we've been to so far.
And it was great, but I was like, you as a friend, like I said, we've chugged beer out of a chicken, so here we are.
Well, and that's a special kind of bonding. I feel
that's almost like marriage. Just so you know.
And you're an Air Force guy.
It might be more dangerous than marriage. I'm just going to throw that out there.
And you're an Air Force guy, so I kind of grabbed because my dad's Air Force. So I'm like,
my father was Air Force.
Heard. I mean,
nice.
Yeah.
My father was a Navyman.
I was about to say, who's your dad and what does he do?
he was in the Navy.
So it's cool because even the other day I was talking to my dad. He's telling me some stories. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, and the stories you're telling, I'm like, because as time goes on, you tell them to new people, and everybody's like wowed and blown away by those stories because you don't forget that kind of shit.
No,
you can't forget that.
No, and that's our building block.
Yeah,
and honestly, without it, I would probably still be homebrewing. Because that's the day that we decided to do this. I mean, I did not realize that it was going to affect somebody's life to where one guy was tearing up in front of me and two family members were thankful that I was, celebrating the life of their loved one that crashed with Komodo 1-1.
That's amazing. And I don't know.
And for two people in the same crash being in Kansas. Yes. How random is that?
I don't know what he's doing there, but
that was weird.
All of a sudden, Nigel's playing with my cord. I don't know what's happening, but I mean that is amazing, and I am fond of the story that or the saying that stories are how we achieve immortality. Right? People live forever because we continue to tell the stories. And what an amazing thing to keep those stories alive, because every person who comes in and sees this either is going to have a connection or just will understand the story.
Even if they don't.
Like, look, my father didn't see any action. He served in the military. I never served, but I can still, you're still moved by the story.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
and you don't have to serve to enjoy the beer here either.
No.
One person was like, I was afraid to go in there. I didn't know if it was just like a military bar. I was like, no.
That's beer, Nigel. It's for everyone.
It is. But, I think, again, you come in here and even if you weren't here, you get the story.
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, it's actually written down on the bar. Yeah. So people,
I told Nick, I said, come over here and look at these pictures when Steve flew over Arrowhead Stadium.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
That's the most ridiculous shit ever.
Dude. Oh,
how'd that come about? You flew over Arrowhead, and what kind of plane was it?
It's a C-130. That when my military career, I flew as a gunner on AC-130 gunships. Then I became a flight engineer on rescue helicopters, the HH-60G. Flew as a boom operator on the KC-135 out of McConnell Air Force Base. And I retired as a C-130 flight engineer out of St. Joe with the Missouri Air National Guard.
I need to get off this mic. I can't sit next to this man. This man's too good.
Oh,
too great.
So,
man.
To go backwards a little bit, are you still naming beers after call signs?
No. So the way we changed that up a little bit, for example, the Bomber Brown Ale, and I got a QR code for all of our branding. And eventually, I just don't have time to do it now, but every time we brew a batch, then we'll dedicate it to a certain call sign that was fallen. So the Bomber Brown Ale will honor fallen bomber crew members. So the Freedom American Lager could be certain individuals. For example, the Lifter Irish Red, any cargo plane that went down, that you'll be able to read a story eventually when I've got all the webpage stuff kind of figured out. So we had to take a detour just because, once again, there's too many call signs and there's not enough beer. And so
the old reporter in me, I want to know more. I want all the stories out of this.
Oh man, I was telling the story to a table, and a lot of times when I do tell the story, it goes silent. It becomes churching. Wow, that just came out of my ass. It does, because everybody tunes in and then they're quiet and they're listening.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times a bartender will see this and turn the music off, slowly.
Yeah.
And I'll tell the story. And it intrigues so many people. It actually touches a lot of people's lives. And one time, I call the first location 1.0. I call this 2.0. Might be a 3.0. We'll see. But over at 1.0, I was telling the story to a group of people, and the table next to us, there was a younger gentleman and his father drinking beers, and hear the whole story. They tabbed out and left, and then 5 minutes later, the younger, I'll call him a kid, but he was probably late 20s, early 30s, came in, and he looked a little distraught. He was like, hey, man, I wasn't eavesdropping, but I heard your story. And then he just starts crying. And I was like, you okay, dude? It's like, yeah, my father was in Vietnam. He's suffering from Agent Orange, and I'm helping him deal with all this. He's suffering, but I'm suffering too. And that story just gave me so much motivation. And thank you for sharing that story. And then this guy's just boo-hooing. And it's like, I started shaking. I was like, I didn't know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the conversation, I was like, man, I appreciate it. You're being strong for your dad. I can't really remember how the rest of that conversation went, but, just seeing his eyes, and how it affected him. And I was like, dude, I'm here for you. Just if you need something, just let me know.
So at this point, it's not just a brewery. You're affecting, because I know you guys do a monthly thing.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's me. We're all trying to ride the rail, apparently.
We'll share.
So I had a guy come down to Transparent, and I know you guys do. Is it a monthly thing?
We do. So right now we do a poker tour.
Yes, the poker tour.
Yep, and that's through the Defenders of Freedom, and they focus a lot on PTSD and several other things. Please forgive me if I don't remember everything that they support, but they're at it a lot. And these guys, it's a $60 buy-in. Most of the money, I'm talking like 90%, goes to that organization. So it's the last time we had this, it was done upstairs. We had about 60 people attend.
Yeah.
We'll donate some stuff. I know that everybody in town kind of donates a little bit, so there's still prizes to win at the end. But it's just a fun.
Yeah, it's a fun fundraiser, though.
Right. And we hold this. We've had it for the last year, and it's had a very, very positive effect. I invited them to come back this year and still do it, and I think it's going to be a permanent thing.
No, I ran into a guy.
Cool.
I ran into a guy, and he was like, "You guys should do this as well." I'm like, yeah, because who doesn't want to support that? Because again, especially when it comes to PTSD,
yeah,
and you could have been in Vietnam and still be fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? Or the last 10 years or whatever.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter.
It's something that's finally rearing its ugly face, and it needs to be dealt with.
Yes.
A lot of, some of the guys that are suffering from Vietnam, they're still kind of bottled up a little bit. Some of them have, from what I understand, now, I haven't done any statistic.
That's a big word.
Yeah, it is. Especially when I'm trying to think of like 3 lines ahead.
Yeah.
But I didn't go out do any kind of testing on this. But anyways, there's still a lot of people from Vietnam suffering.
Oh, yeah.
And some of them are finally coming out and getting the help that they need. And that's what we need.
Yeah.
And we need to identify, let's call it what it is. And let's put them back into a functional state to where they can be a human being again. This country's great. I would have died for it. I spent 33 years flying. And there's not a moment I'd give back. But every time somebody goes to war, they come back a different person. And the government does nothing to transition you back to normality.
Right.
They don't. It's like, thanks for your service, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that more and more. And it's off-site locations that are actually providing the support. And once again, if we can save another person's life, then all this is worth my time.
Hear.
Yeah.
You know what that deserves?
All of these little things. Do you think that adds up enough? Because you're doing some little things by telling the stories, by keeping those stories alive, by raising money for, projects to pay for the service dogs, to get somebody the treatment they need. Is there enough of that little stuff adding up?
No. Oh, dear God, no. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people that are coming home that are just not the same. And there's not enough programs out there. A lot of times people just want to feel like they're still wanted. They get home from a tour after being in Afghanistan or Iraq, and it's different. All right, I'm not supposed to kill people here.
Yeah,
right? I'm supposed to be able to pretend that nothing happened.
Pretend, right?
Right. And some of these folks just go on with their daily lives holding it in. But all they want to do is fucking scream. Yeah. All they want to do is be heard.
That sounds like the story. So my mother is married to a Navy SEAL veteran from Vietnam. And his kids and some of the family will say, his sister, that thankfully he had a stroke 25 years ago because he forgot
Oh, shit.
a lot of the things.
Wow.
And they're glad
Yeah.
that he is a better person because he's not dealing with the memories and the things. And that freaks me out a little bit, right? That like we shouldn't say a stroke and memory loss is a good thing.
Right. Well, I look at my dad, and he was in Vietnam, and and he did a lot of shit that was classified that he can talk about for years. And then in the last 5 years, I'm like, holy shit, you did some crazy shit, and you're pretty well adjusted, which is kind of, I'm like, well, what and I know when he was younger, the drinking and he wasn't a great husband, that sort of thing. But over the years, he's kind of resolved some of that. But you could tell, to your point, PTSD manifests itself in a lot of different ways, right?
Right.
It just doesn't. You just don't, go shoot up a place. You might just, beat up on your wife, or,
there's a lot of that.
Yeah. So it's just it's interesting to hear different stories. And I'd be curious to ask my dad, how'd you get through? Because he saw some shit, and he's told me. I was like, because he did a bunch of different weird fucking tours, rescue missions, crazy shit. I was like, I couldn't talk about that when I was younger.
Right.
I didn't want to talk about it, but I couldn't talk about it because it was top secret.
Yeah. How did you get through? How did you heal? What's that?
Yeah, well, if I can interrupt
Sure.
right there.
No, go ahead.
A lot of times it's, burp is coming. Bad time.
Hey, look, burps are real. It's real life. It's fine.
No.
You know what that was?
That's a cry burp. Before you tell your story, what we need to do?
It's time for
a mystery beer.
Mystery beer.
That would be Bree
We love
Burroughs.
you, Bree Burroughs.
So this is the mystery beer bag.
I love it.
It might have come from a golf course, as you might imagine. That was pretty good.
Wow, you've never complimented a burp of mine.
I have. Shut up. So I'm going to hand this to Annie. Pass it around. You pull whatever. There's 3 beers in there.
Okay.
Pull whatever one you want out of there, and we play a game. So just read.
You can read what it is, where it's from, but try not to look at the ABV.
Yeah, try to avoid the ABV because we like to guess the ABV. ABV. Yeah, that's hard
Alcohol
to say.
Alcohol by volume.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't have that sound.
I know.
Wow. Is that freaking you out to reach in the bag?
Wow.
Well, I'm hoping I don't miss the bag.
There's a couple of crowlers in there.
Okay.
We just had a donation of podcast readers.
Did you bring any with you?
They're in the bag.
Because I realized when we were in the drive out here, I didn't pack any Nigel's readers.
I know. So we have problems reading the ABV on the. She's bringing all. There's the readers.
There's the readers.
Okay.
I like that they're still in a plastic bag.
For your protection.
All right, we got. I got.
Are they ripped?
Let's see, we got.
No, because there's no pleasure in readers.
And we got a bottle. You know what? I'm going to go with the middle. Up.
There you go.
XPA.
Yeah. We've already looked at the ABV. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's right there.
Well, I'm not going to look.
Okay, just pop it off of there.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah. So that's from shout out to our buddy Chad, who was concerned that we didn't have readers, so he bought a box of 20.
Nice.
They're in the vault.
Yeah. And then he lives in, what was that, Springfield?
Looks like Jefferson City.
Yeah. So he lives in Jeff City, so he brought some beers for us to, and I told him, I said, we're going to do them on the pod. Nice. Mystery beers. So shout out to Chad.
Hey, Chad. Thank you very much.
Chad. So we're what? This is episode 112.
I think 111 or 112, something like that.
Chad has listened to every episode in the last 2 months.
Well done, sir.
That was well done. 6.5.
That was good.
I'm going to go 7 on that.
Okay, same.
Yeah, give that to me.
Now you got to crack it and pour it.
All right.
You can put your mic down. That's fine. We'll talk amongst ourselves.
Or Nigel or Annie can put her mic there so we can get a nice crack. Yeah.
Oh, it got some juice on it.
That's okay. Look, do not lick the microphone. Remember, you're on video.
I know I also know who's doing the editing, so.
What editing?
What editing?
Oh, that's right. You don't do editing.
Why would you edit?
So.
Oh, there you go.
So, how did you get that cold sore?
Now I feel bad about going back to my serious question I was going to ask.
Check out the new glasses. 1 Point One Pint, Vine Street. There's supposed to be a Beers with Nigel logo on there, but there's not.
Nick dropped the ball.
Yeah.
It's okay, Andy. You can say it. It's fine.
And shout out to Grandstand for hooking us up.
Nice.
Didn't they hook us up?
They did.
They did.
Yeah,
Shout
they
out
did.
Shout out to Grandstand.
I love Grandstand.
I sent a request for the logo and never followed up. It was my fault.
You have the logo, don't you?
Not what they needed.
What did they need? A vector file?
Yeah.
Oh, they could have done a PDF.
You could have converted your PDF, your PNG to a vector. There's converters out there in the world, you know. You've never done that?
I like to leave the art stuff to art professionals.
You're missing my point. How'd you drop the ball, man? Wow. Well, at least we've got beers.
I'm glad I have beer to like console myself.
This is your consolement. This consolement. Is that a word?
I'm going to cry in the beer.
That wouldn't be the first time.
Tear in my beer. Isn't that a song, a country song somewhere? I feel like that's an old thing.
Ooh, that's very
wow.
That
is
very
good.
Very piney.
Yeah.
Got a little kick to it. It's solid though.
That's very, very solid. I could drink a shit ton of that.
Shout out to Last Flight Brewing Company.
That's an easy drinking beer.
I will say this about Last Flight. They have the biggest stickers you'll ever see in your life. Their stickers are like, I was like, why are your stickers so big?
So you can see it.
Heard. No, that's good. It's an XPA, apparently. Extra Pale Ale. Is that what we're going to call it?
Yep.
Junior, that was for you. We haven't done a great job of doing our junior lists.
I haven't seen Junior in a long time. Is he still alive?
I don't know. Junior, we want to know.
Proof of life.
We need a little proof of life. Find today's newspaper, take a picture, and send it to us.
Oh, he's calling you. He's calling you.
Find today's newspaper. Dewey wins.
If the town that you're in actually has a newspaper left, do that.
So Steve, did you see the ABV? I did.
I did not.
What would you think it would be?
I'm going to grade this one at like a 6.5.
Okay.
Annie?
That's what I was going to say. I'll go 6 point.
Remember, Price is Right rules. So if you want to,
$1, Bob Barker, $1.
So close without going over.
6.3.
Okay.
All right, the actual retail ABV.
Hold on. Let's go to the audience.
Oh, that's right. Katie's gonna guess by smell.
Get up here, Katie.
She is not a beer imbiber.
No. So just smell it.
Can we pan over and get a little Katie on camera?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
All right, so I've heard your podcast so much. Is this sneaky?
That's a different game.
I'll say 6.0.
Oh.
Ding, 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 ding,
Actual
ding,
retail
ding, ding.
ABV is 6.0. It's the worst.
What does she win, Bob?
Nothing, because she doesn't drink the beers. She does. You know, shout out to Katie. We did a little beer experiment because she.
Wow.
Choked on my own.
That almost became.
Choked on my.
That almost became a verb
on my XPA. She doesn't do the glutens, so she got some gluten beers, and we tasted them, and we played the whole sensory game, and she was like, okay, I could probably drink some of that, and they weren't terrible, like the one we had earlier on the way over from Neff.
Yeah, that was good.
The gluten-free sour.
Okay.
It was pretty good.
You know, so we don't, the gluten's fine, but if you miss the gluten, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
So you act like it's a little bit like you're trying not to be offended, but you are.
Some of those gluten-free beers, you can taste them and you can tell there's something missing.
Yeah.
You know that there's a compound that you could put in during fermentation.
Cocaine, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not. Oh, my bad.
That's a whole other game.
We need to edit that out.
No, we don't.
Of course, I'm joking.
Just the wrong game.
Just the wrong game.
Wrong podcast, apparently.
But yeah, there's a compound now. I don't know the specifics of it, and it will get it to a gluten reduced.
Yes.
Which is for the beer nerds out there that know this. I could be wrong. I'm just saying, but if you can get it under 10 parts or 10,000 parts per million, then it could be labeled as gluten reduced.
Yeah.
Which will have no effect for those that are.
Because Tony used to do that at one shift because because
Tony, how's he doing?
He's living life out in Russell, Kansas.
Right, the rural life.
Yeah, but he used to do that because Lynn couldn't do the gluten. As shout out to Nolan. You know what he calls people who can't do gluten?
You told me this earlier.
Glutards.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
You know what,
dude? There's something wrong with you.
Nolan, not me.
Nolan, I'm almost a little offended by that one. Like my line is pretty far out there. That might hit it. That one might hit the line.
Seriously?
Yeah, that one might hit the line.
Fingering doesn't hit your line?
No.
Curled up finger?
All right, forgive me for imposing.
You're not imposing.
Okay, because I'm going to fill this glass up again, if that's cool with you.
That's the point.
Absolutely.
Beer is there to be.
Well, it's called etiquette. Normally people
we got
First
two
of all,
other,
etiquette and our podcast don't go together.
and we got 2 other beers to go. So here we are.
And you being British ought to know.
He's not
etiquette.
British.
Oh, here we go.
He's from Oklahoma.
I am not from Oklahoma.
I poured it for you.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at that.
Oh, okay.
You have no business being on this podcast.
So you were born in England.
I see you pimping. That was like an 8.5.
I thought that was weaker than the other one.
No, that was way better. Trust me.
I'm trying. I just can't.
Did you have the burping tools removed?
I really think that is
that
the
might have been
case.
part of the surgery.
I think so. Because I don't
good or
burp
bad?
like I used to.
I was just glad that nobody had Taco Bell before the burps. Because, man,
Amen to that.
wrong.
Yeah. We're just talking about the surgery. Everybody's like, what surgery?
What's wrong with her?
Partial lobotomy. It's fine.
Oh, jeez.
All of a sudden, I was like, what rumors can I spread about?
Oh, my God.
Partial lobotomy.
She had both pinky toes removed. You shot my pinky toe.
That's why she's waddling. She said, they got pinky toes.
Oh, my gosh. Now I'm not getting down from this chair because I do waddle when I get up from sitting.
Do it. No pinky toes.
No. That's what we're going to call this episode, actually. No pinky toes.
No pinky toes.
That could be a great call sign. Just for somebody's playing no pinky toes. I don't know what kind of playing that would be, but
Or just pinky toe. Just pinky toe.
That's a whole.
This
ain't a fetish show.
That's getting close. That's getting close to pink toe, if you know what I'm saying.
Whoa!
That's a whole different. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, let's not rabbit hole that one.
I'm going to go backward a little bit. I'm going to go back to the PTSD discussion a little. Can we go back to serious?
Can we go back further first? Because he didn't answer the question before you started brewing.
Okay.
What were you drinking?
Oh man, I was drinking like my go-to was pale ales and IPAs.
Like from
Is that what you were drinking in the service?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Like when I first started drinking beer. No,
in the service, you
Before
guys.
you got
Come
good.
on.
All right, so
What happened was
my very first my very first duty assignment, I was stationed in England. I was
Where?
at RAF Lakenheath.
Get the fuck out of here,
No, I'm
bro.
dead serious, man. I was there between 90 and 93.
Okay, I'm going to digress real quick on your story. So, my dad was stationed there. One of my friend's sons is there now. I've got 2 buddies. We were at Fringe Beer Works. They were both stationed there. One's a pilot. One's a mechanic.
Okay.
They didn't know each other. Turns out he worked on his
The other dude's plane?
Yeah.
Yes,
Jesus.
that happened.
Yeah. Small world, man.
I was like, so we're talking 40 years ago to like 5 years ago, Lakenheath.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway.
So
as you
I
were.
was
I was
actually
graduating
there.
high school in '93, by the way.
Shut up.
Jesus Christ. Make me feel old. I was actually there for the transition of the F-111Fs to F-15Es.
Yeah.
And that was my very first thing is loading bombs on 111s and F-15s. So I got there when I was 18 years old. So I drank British beers.
Yeah. 46 degrees.
Yeah.
56 degrees, actually.
But yeah, the dorm bitters.
Yeah.
You drank what was available.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, at 18.
Dude, no, I was 18. I was able to buy this shit.
No, but I mean, at 18, you're just taking what beer's around.
Yeah.
You're going to buy
Yeah.
that.
You can drink anything.
I mean,
Right.
I do remember going to the BX and getting a whole case
The BX
of fucking
would be the base
Budweiser.
exchange, by the way,
Thank you.
for you Air Force guys.
Thank you.
Yep. And I started getting into craft beer probably, I don't know, mid-2000s.
Do you remember what it was that got you there?
Phrasing.
I just got.
Wow.
I can't help it.
The pop-up of breweries probably initiated that, and you just get tired of the same old shit. So, you venture off.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, it's kind of cool. Here's another cool story for you. You're going to love this shit. Back in 2008-ish. Yeah, 2008, I wanted to actually do, not so much a podcast, but I wanted to do breweries across America, and I got it licensed and everything, called American Brewed. And I recorded 2 places. And they both came out like dog shit because I didn't know what I was doing. But still, it still happened. And the first place that I recorded was Klamath Falls Brewing Basin. So the creamery there in Klamath Falls. And Corey was the brewer there. And I spent 3 weeks hanging out there because I was there with the railroad teaching classes. And just hung out with him. Filmed him, did a lot of filming there. Got like literally 4 hours worth of film, a lot of B-roll. And here we are, how many years later? After COVID, I get a resume from somebody, and it turns out it was Corey from Klamath Falls.
Wow.
And that's my brewer now.
Oh, that's
wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a cool circle moment.
And where was he?
In Oregon. Klamath
Really?
Falls,
Wow.
Oregon.
Wow.
Now, he was originally from Kansas City, but beer brewing brought him to Klamath, I believe.
Right.
And, it just went full circle. And he's been my brewer for the last 3 years.
Wow.
Cool.
You've got a bunch of 6 degrees separation
The man
stories,
got
man.
stories.
I told you. Told you.
I've been blessed. I've been blessed since day one.
So now you can go back to your original question before.
Which one was that?
Thank you. I appreciate you, Nigel,
I'm here for you.
for letting me go there.
I mean, that's what we do here.
They're having a moment, Steve.
I like it.
Which time?
Just now.
When they start
Looking,
kissing, we're
where
gonna,
they were looking in each other's eyes.
Yes. I love you.
It's only just begun. The fact that you burped in that made it even better.
Oh my God.
I wish I could sing in tune because that would have been even more beautiful.
No,
But I can't hit a note to save my life.
That made it perfect, actually. You're out of beer,
Well, that's true. So here.
Mystery.
Annie.
Nice.
I'll let you read it. What is it?
Yep.
Well, fuck, I can't read.
Shit, can I?
I can only count to 4.
Look, I'm from the Air Force. I can pull levers and I can.
You want to try the new readers? Are those readers? Or are those?
They're readers. So
Those are fancy
Those are
readers.
fancy.
I like Harry Potter readers.
fuck you. Fuck you. I tell you what, man. They're not Harry Potter.
Oh, shit.
All
Oh,
right,
shit.
so, with that being said, an icon of music, John Lennon glasses.
Okay.
I was just about to tell the story. I almost punched my son in his head for that. It's like, I really like John Lennon glasses, so that's what I was going to go with. And I like them. And my son sees him, Dad, what's up with the Harry Potter glasses? Like, you motherfucker. No, John Lennon.
That's hilarious.
That's holy shit. Listen, come here, man.
Lennon Potter, what's the difference? Oh, I see what you're saying. Would you quit flipping my tape?
Flip it the other.
There we go.
Okay, there we go.
We're good to go.
Suppose we can circumcise that.
Listen, it's not. You're never really too old for circumcision. It's fine.
That is not
That sounds
true.
really painful the older you get.
No, it's a terrible barbaric thing that they do in this country.
What about a second circumcision? Ouch, never mind. All right, so we're looking at a bottle.
Why would you want to hurt it more?
Sounds horrible.
It does.
Oh,
Wow.
Here we are.
Wow.
This is a great
I don't think I can ever go back to my serious question now because it doesn't feel right.
No.
I feel wrong.
We've gone down a rabbit hole.
You, sir, are doing great things, and I just can't go back to that conversation because I feel really bad now.
Oh, we will. We will.
Anyway, what beer we got?
What do we
there?
got?
I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Just to try.
It's a wild fermentation ale
Oh, hell
What's the name?
brewed
though?
with
What's the? Where's it hard?
Quattro.
El Quattro.
Does it have a name?
El Quattro.
Well, yeah.
That's the name of it? Yeah, okay.
I really want to go Three Amigos there. El Guapo.
El Quattro. El Quattro.
El Guapo.
It is
Where's it from?
handmade blend or Bend. Oh, handmade. Bend, Oregon.
Okay.
Nice. Let's see.
That was some beer karma from someone.
Brewed with honey.
I'm excited.
Aged in a wine
shout
barrel.
out to Lenny.
Lenny Blue.
Yeah, Lenny Blue. Shout out to Lenny.
You said it's
Nice.
By the way, we're gonna have some blues sightings in May, just a month away.
Where are they?
The Blues Traveler.
Where are
will be
they
back.
right now?
I think they're in
Yummy.
SoCal right now.
We need to get them to send us
can't
some beer.
wait.
Yes.
Yes.
Lenny, Karen, my dear, sweet, beautiful friends, we would
Send us
appreciate
some
some
beer.
beer
May-
mail
may I?
before next Friday.
Hold my mic. I've never said that before.
Wow.
I got you.
Like you didn't say that in the barracks. I'm sorry. Now I feel really bad
Wait,
about that.
we need a video. An extra. Well, it's on video. Never mind. I don't know what it's talking about.
Well, I'm trying.
It's probably not going to do that.
Bullshit.
You think you got some pressure? Wait for it.
Wait for it. No.
Wow.
That was very anticlimactic.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You could have that back.
You should apologize after that.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, you left us wanting.
This is
she said.
this is an easy fix. Wait, I can fix this. I can fix this.
Oh, the cork broke off.
Yes.
Oh, bloody hell!
So,
All of that.
I'm trying to think. What do I have in my bag to get it out of there? Nothing. Oh, you no.
No, Annie's
Don't-
about to get MacGyver on that shit.
Yeah, she's about to MacGyver it. We got an
All
old
right,
school
since,
opener in here.
All right, I'm gonna go back. While she MacGyvers, I am gonna go back because I am curious
Okay.
about this, and I just want to know, like, what is that picture of the men and women coming back that we don't see? That those of us that aren't in service, that haven't been through it, right? Because we can hear the story and we can relate and we can say, and the human side of us can empathize.
Yeah.
But we still don't get it. So what's that picture that you don't see about the numbers, the amount of people that are really coming back and really struggling?
You know, I don't know if there's a picture to paint really, because everybody's happy to get back, and this is just my perception. So it's not right or wrong. This is just what I feel. And even if you've gone through some shit, you're still happy to be back home. You're happy that you can actually get back to a normal routine in life. And I'm sure that folks try to get to that point where, okay, this was normality, but it is no more. So there's always going to be happy faces when when people get back, but that really doesn't settle in for, I guess, a couple weeks. And once again, I'm just going by what I've seen, and sometimes it's just hard to adjust. So being at home for a little bit, and then seeing that things aren't going back to what it was, and then it just goes down that rabbit hole.
That adjustment, the transition thing, I've heard about it a lot. So I'm lucky I get to produce a lot of different shows.
Sure.
A lot of different things out there. One of them is called Celebrity Salute. For those, since we're in Kansas City, for those people around Kansas City who remember Randy Miller, the old shock jock DJ of the 80s, right? One of the original OG shock jocks, right? Back in the day. So he does a thing through called National Defense Radio. It goes out, Armed Forces Radio, every Saturday, I think. And then there's a podcast called Celebrity Salute, and he interviews celebrities and veterans and things. They talk about this. And one of the recurring things that I've heard in the last 2.5 years that I've been helping produce is that conversation about transition. That going from active duty back to the world is so freaking hard.
Yeah.
That I can empathize, but I can't really get it.
It's one of those things you got to be there.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. And I'm Air Force. All my stuff was happening, above the ground. I can't even relate, or I don't even want to speculate what the guys on the ground that dealt with some serious shit came back trying to deal with that shit. I think about it often, but I don't want to kind of put words into their mouth because I'm not there. I don't know shit. And honest to God, I don't, compared to what those guys have seen. I just know that transition would be tough. there's a little tough transition, and it's little for me.
Well, I was going to say, what was yours
and
like?
there's, well, not all my stuff actually happened, overseas. Well, one thing, I got three things that kind of go through my mind, and my transition wasn't nearly as bad as what other folks make it out to be. But the combat mission in Kosovo, all right. So, knowing that you're taking lives from a gunship over Kosovo, and just knowing that there's human lives, but it's war, right? Kosovo, if for those that forgot, not one single U.S. casualty in Kosovo during that war. But
that's fine, Annie. It's fine. Wild ales, they're crazy.
Nice,
and I love it.
You got this right. Yep. Where was I? Okay, so Kosovo. Kind of thinking back on what happened, but at the time I'm at 18,000 feet, and I don't believe that I'm actually going to talk about this publicly, but I think it's okay. I don't. For those that know me, a lot of people don't know this, and I kind of still struggle a little bit. But I was down at Ground Zero for a month. I was with the rescue unit Long Island. I wasn't checked out yet, and we spent 3 days digging through that shit, and then did perimeter security after that. And that's a sight that still haunts me every day. I had surgery probably about 6 years ago. I had a hernia, and when they were trying to wake me up, they the nurse like, "Hey, how you feeling? Doing okay?" And apparently the words that came out of my mouth were apparently, compared to the people during September 11th, I'm doing pretty fucking good, I guess. And that's just a telltale thing that's still stuck in the back of my mind.
Wow.
And I've never said that publicly.
I appreciate you doing it now.
Thanks.
And I think that look, we all have our story of that day and those days in our nation's history, right? That we remember where we were.
Yeah.
And those things are going to haunt us all in different ways. But
can't even imagine.
I can't even imagine being there. I mean, I was just a dumb news guy then running desk. But
Still
geez, you were there.
Yep. I was there second day.
Wow.
The smell. Just the smell alone, it just smelled like a bad campfire with burnt hot dogs.
Wow.
I didn't pull any bodies out. I mean, there's just too much rubble. It was like literally 5 stories worth of fucking shit.
It's interesting you said that about the smell, and I know that these two things aren't. It's a stretch to connect them, but I'm curious about the smell part. That's the thing is. So I remember in 2011 after the tornado that hit Joplin, Missouri.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that.
And wiped out a third of what is actually my hometown where I was born. A third of that place was gone, and I remember driving down there, and a buddy of mine who's also, from the news world, told me something. He said, "I never knew destruction had a smell." And it does.
Yep.
And it's freakish.
Yeah.
And it just floors you. So it was interesting when you said that about the smell that just hits you.
It's, a lot of things in life will take you back. And, tastes and smells are the biggest ones. Here's one that'll kill you. And this, so my father passed away 3 years ago. He was 80 years old. He smoked 3 packs of cigarettes since he was 15 years old. So how he made it to 80 years old, I don't know. But it was lung cancer. But he always, we're French Canadians, so he's got a very, very thick French accent. And during his treatments, he always said, "I'm strong like bull. Don't worry about me. I'm strong like bull." And eventually it took him. My parents got divorced when I was 13 years old. And when my dad was at my sister's house, pretty much not hospice, but hospice or getting ready to be at that stage, my sister did a very, very good job of taking care of him. And this is up in Connecticut. My mom, being the woman that she is, helped my sister take care of my dad. Even if they've been divorced for 30-something years, my mom was still there. And my mom and my sister made dinner one night, and it was our version of shepherd's pie. Just plain old freaking mashed potatoes, ground beef, paprika, cream corn. But it's what I grew up with. And my mom and my sister made it, served it up, and it was me and Jennifer, now my wife, my sister, my dad, my mom, and we're at the kitchen table, and I take the first bite out of this, and I close my eyes, and my parents are talking French, and that, boom, brought me back to when I was 12 fucking years old, and it just like, it was like going through a time machine. They're sitting there speaking perfect French to each other, everything's good, and I'm 12 years old again, and I almost, out of choking up, just almost spit that out, but I kind of got it down. I was like, oh, I got to leave the table. Gone, outside. And my mom follows me, and, with her big French accent, she goes, oh, what the matter with you? And I was like, Mom, I'm back to being 12 years old again, living in Wappinger Falls, New York, eating this, the first spoonful of that shepherd's pie, just instantly, boom, time machine, just... That was something, man.
I love that. And thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
I'm fucking opening up like
with you,
crazy, dude.
Well, and look, the stories are everything, right? I mean, that's like I said, that's how we and our loved ones live forever. But that's also how we connect, the different generations. And you talked about the smell bringing you back, and this is what I think is really cool about what you're doing here. Just the beer names, right? Just the beers, you're keeping those stories alive, and somebody you saw two people at that beer festival do it, right?
Yep.
Somebody went back to that moment and remembered those loved ones just because they saw the name of your beer.
And people see beer names,
so cool.
And they always, if it's an interesting name, they're like, "Where's that name from?" Right. Then you get to tell the story.
Yeah.
But you have serious beer names.
I commend. I can't say that. I commend you so much because you're keeping those stories alive and you're connecting people to so much a part of history and to their loved ones. You can't ask to do more than that with your business.
Yeah. Hey, cheers on that one.
Hey, cheers.
You are somebody's shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
Ooh, I've never been called that before.
Whoa.
You know what? That's the most beautiful dirty talk I've ever heard.
Come here,
my shepherd's pie. This beer is fabulous, by the way.
Holy
wow.
moly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that'll make you pucker.
Yeah.
You know what? Lenny Blue, who sent this one in, somehow always manages to get these great wild
And
ales.
we knew it was going to be good because look how long it took us to open it. We had several tools. I was like, Katie, you got a screwdriver? She said, yeah, my car.
Oh my God. I could have gone to the podcast room and grabbed one.
But she's like the podcast assistant.
I can't wait until your show.
Wow.
I
drops.
need it.
I am.
I need to have
whatever you want help with it. I'm there for you, man. Because
I might take you up on that because you're doing it.
These stories need to be told, and I love what you're doing. More people need to hear these stories, and you need to tell them.
The goal is eventually, and as long as we keep helping people, and once again, PTSD is going to be the main focus. But if we can get help with American Brewed, I've got 3 guys so far, and I could use 2 more. And of course, there's no budget for it yet. But once we start posting shit and getting stuff done,
I got some things in my head for you.
Heard.
I got
Same.
stuff.
You know my background is video production, right?
No.
Yeah, heard. When you say you need a camera person, let's talk about it.
Man.
Why'd that whisper? It was weird.
I don't know.
That was
you
weird.
made it awkward. I mean, you really did. You kind of made it a little awkward.
My man.
Look, I digress. What's this guess the ABV on this thing?
Oh shit.
I already looked.
Okay, while
But
I sip,
it was big.
That's what she said.
Diggity.
while I think about it, Nigel, I want to give a shout out. You're rocking the wind shift hat tonight.
Yes, he is.
That's
I
awesome.
just noticed that too.
Yeah, shout out to Tony. That's my
Tony.
dude. Tony.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers to Tony. I'm going to say it's probably like 9%.
You know what? I'm going to go 10.
'cause
It's double.
Oh.
I'm
Bong.
gonna go in the middle, 9.5.
What's our actual retail?
Hold on.
Oh, Katie.
Come smell.
I do the camera shift again thing, but I'm duct taped in place.
Woo! That's like 752%.
I'm gonna sound effect your facial expressions.
What did you say? You said 10?
I said 9.
I said 10.
And he said 9.5.
Oh, no, 10.2.
Oh,
Wow.
she's priced right in me there. Oh, damn it.
Actual retail ABV is very specific, 9.45.
Damn it!
Dang, I went over.
Boy, they were seriously assing that shit, weren't they?
Damn it.
Shout out to the Ale Apothecary, El Quattro. That was good.
I love wild ales though.
Oh, yeah.
I had a guy, he came in.
See,
This is a funny story. He comes and he's like, you got any whiskey? I'm like, no. He's like, what do you guys do when you ruin a batch of beer? You don't send it to a distillery? I'm like, well,
Fuck no.
No, we don't ruin.
We don't ruin
the beers. And then he had a ponytail. Let's start with that.
Oh, jeez.
Then he was like, well,
does that disqualify him immediately?
That's not a good start. And then he says, well, I'm from Denver, and that's what we do there. I'm like, well, this ain't Denver, dude. And then he gets into this whole thing. We've got 2 Saisons. Well, sometimes those wild ales, I'm thinking, Saison's not a wild ale, first of all. I didn't say it to him.
I would have.
Let him keep talking. Then I said, sometimes I was like, they have some funk, like a farmhouse or a Saison. Yeah. Talked all that big shit, Mr. Denver, with a ponytail. and you know what he took home? The Saison.
Imagine that.
I'm sitting in the transparent, wee bit fancy Saison as one of my favorite beers in the entire Casey Metro.
Number 2 Saison every year behind Tank 7.
Let's be honest. It's the number 1.
Tank 7's not local anymore. I'm just going to call it.
And come on, nobody's not going to vote for Boulevard. They're just too big.
Yeah, that's true. And I make a farmhouse ale that blows theirs away. Or, excuse me, very comparable. Let's put it that way. let's put it that way. And it's actually just 5.5, maybe 6%.
Yeah.
So it's not too terribly strong.
Yeah, because that one's a big boy.
Yeah,
Tank 7.
Yeah.
And that's the Observer Farmhouse Ale.
Okay.
Named
is
after.
It on tap?
No. I'm teasing you now. I'm teasing you.
Yeah,
That's a total tease.
Total tease.
Hey, I've got this great beer, guys. Let me tell you all about it. But you
ain't
can't
got
have it.
Can't try it.
So probably about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago now, I was at Apex, sitting at their bar drinking beer, and they had some pretty solid things, and I was drinking a pale ale, and a guy sits next to me. It's kind of funny he brought up the ponytail thing, but this is more like a hybrid between ponytail and man bun. I wasn't sure what the fuck it was.
Technically, a ponytail, a man bun is a ponytail is wrapped up, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I still couldn't identify.
You can't make a bun without a ponytail.
So
did you say bunny tail?
We're gonna call it that. Yes.
There we go. A bunny tail.
It's a bunny tail.
It's a bunny tail. I like that. And he took a sip of what he was drinking, and he's making this face. He actually went. I was like, "Dude, you're right." And he's sitting this close to me. This beer just doesn't taste right.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, what are you drinking? I've got that pale ale. I forgot which one it was. And it happens to be what I'm drinking right now. Let's take a sip. Yeah. Tasting some Cascade hops, maybe some Centennial. Yeah, it's a pretty solid pale ale. He goes, no, it doesn't taste right to me, dude. I've been home brewing for 2 years. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I was like, well,
let me drop the hammer, son.
Yeah. It was like I'm not even going to go.
That's
there.
when
I'm not even going to tell him who I am.
Yeah, that's when you just just let him talk, man.
Just let him talk. Yeah.
To dig that hole.
I wish I had the camera going. Just let's make this guy famous. Bunny tail.
I think
my favorite Emilio Estevez roll. I'll make you famous. Young Guns, baby.
I think
Young
Katie
Guns.
might be our number one listener because she laughs at all the dumb shit.
I don't know if she did she get drunk on her own beforehand?
It's called osmosis.
I mean, we say the dumbest shit and she laughs.
No, yeah. So here we are, wieners. Total wieners.
If she was drinking a beer, it would have came out her nose after that one.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about this space, man. You guys moved from the small spot to this giant ass.
Yeah, would you say 2,000 to 23?
We went from 3,000 square feet to 23,000 square feet.
Because you went from, I'm going to do a 5-gallon batch. Let's do 50 gallons. I went from 3,000 to 23. What is wrong with you?
A lot. Well, shit, there's a lot wrong with me. Anybody that knows me, Steve's kind of fucked up.
Let's get out the list.
So have you seen him drunk?
So you wanted to start a brewery. Here we are.
All you need
yes, I'm going to write that book.
Yes.
All you need
yes.
is $15,000.
Thank you, Sandhills.
No. Try like $2.5 million.
No, Sandhills thought it was going to be 15 grand to do a brewery.
Yeah, so when we interviewed Jonathan at Sandhills, he was like, "Yeah, we thought sure, all we needed was 15,000."
They were home brewing, as one does, and then next thing they do, and of course now they have 2 breweries.
Right. But they learned a lesson.
They did. And I bet they'll be like the first ones to be like, no, that's not going to work.
That was his story. It was a great story.
But the joke is still quality. It's a quality joke.
Yeah.
It's just fit, and that was that episode.
I think that was the title.
It takes $15,000 to open a brewery. It does not.
No, it does
that
not.
might get you.
It takes $15,000 to think about opening.
Yep.
To think about
those thoughts cost money.
That's probably what I spent over the years upgrading my system.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you were doing a 15-gallon homebrew. I mean,
That's your
No,
house.
to
That's a little
45 gallon.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I gave you 5 extra.
Let me go ahead and say this, that it did not happen. I wasn't alone. Let's put it that way. So the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
And which really sucked.
I've heard. I've heard.
Yeah. We managed to survive over at the first location with the October canner, sealing up one can at a time. So filling one can, throwing the top on one at a time, seaming it one at a time.
16 ounces or 12s?
16.
Heard.
So we were doing
Been
6
there.
packs.
Heard.
And we kept our eyeballs above water. We sold over 14,000 cans during the pandemic.
One at a time.
Yeah.
Good Jesus.
Right out the door.
Yeah.
And I did take on a partner back then. And this is a gentleman that believed in what we're doing. And he wants us to succeed. And he helped us there. And I was looking to move locations. And he pretty much said, let's either go big or go home.
Heard.
And we found this location. This was the 4th spot we looked at. And as soon as I walked through that door, it's like, dude, this is it.
What was this previously?
This was Harvest Productions. So they did all the lights and props for Power and Light.
Really?
Yeah. So all the stuff came from here to go down there for all their concert events and all that other shit. So they vacated during COVID. So we took the building on, and it was 23,000 square feet.
So, okay, you're going from 3,000 to 23. Did you have any trepidation about it?
Oh, I was scared shitless. I'm not going to lie. It scared the fuck out of me. Matter of fact, I don't think I slept for an entire week. Like, literally,
Yeah.
I'd get little naps in, but it's like, all right, let's do this. We're on Burlington here in North Kansas City.
Because at that point, when you moved over here, how old were you, brewery-wise?
Are brewery years like dog years?
No, they're like turtle years.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but here we are.
Well, because a turtle can live up to 2
Okay,
years
heard.
old.
Yeah.
And we were 3 years old, and we decided to do this.
That's a quick upscale.
That's a giant leap.
Oh, it's suicide. It really is. Like anybody that didn't have the proper financial backing wouldn't make it.
Well, sure.
And this is expensive. But we decided to do it and make it happen. We have our 10-barrel system that we had from the first location, and also purchased a 20-barrel system, which we're about to implement. So that's in the works to finally get that one up and going.
But the fact you even had a 10 over there is big for Kansas City. We've talked to a lot of breweries, and average size around here is 5 to 7. So to come in and have a 10 in Kansas City, that's
Right,
kind of
yeah.
unusual.
I got a little penis. I'm compensating for big equipment.
I'm like, he actually said that.
I know this part was like, did he just do it?
Yeah,
He did.
I mean, like,
He did.
You know what? The courage of our service members.
Balls to the wall.
Or not.
Or not. Okay, here we are.
I'm sure that made everybody laugh.
That was good. That was good.
So yeah, we decided to make that happen, and it's been a struggle, but nothing out of the norm. It's just a bigger business.
Yeah.
And we've had food trucks in the past. Trying to get a kitchen built in here was a monster. I mean, just one hiccup.
That's been going on for several years.
Several years, yeah. We had barbecue at the first location.
Yeah.
We had barbecue at the, here.
Yeah.
And Jared with Wolfpack got his own brick and mortar, so he's doing pretty good. On the south side of the river, and now our kitchen's almost done, and food is essential.
Yeah.
So it's almost the kitchen's almost done. We contractors are in there right now. We should have it done probably in about another month,
Nice.
and then we're going to start opening hopefully at 11 o'clock every day versus 4.
Yeah.
Serving lunch.
Yeah.
And then Sunday brunch. So this just opens up a whole nother avenue.
Yeah.
Of beer and food and revenue.
I feel like all the breweries are learning now. You
gotta have
Have
food.
to have food.
You have to have
Gotta
food
have food.
option. I mean, are you guys seeing that, Annie, at Vine Street?
Yeah, we have to have food. I mean, when the restaurant's closed, generally we need to be able to have a food truck at all times in order for them to get to stay and have a second and a third beer.
Yeah.
You have to have food. It's hard to have a food truck, though, I will say.
We've talked about that with Diametric out in Lee Summit, that just changed their game.
It changed the fortunes.
Yes.
Changed the fortunes, man.
And then on top of that, we started distribution. We started self-distribution probably about 8 months ago, and just locally. So here in the metro Kansas City, Missouri area, we have about 55 accounts, which may seem like a lot, but it's not, because there's not a lot of revenue to be made through distribution.
Right.
We just signed a contract for distribution around the 5 surrounding counties around Kansas City, Kansas. So that's huge, and we're not going to do self-distribution on that side. We're just letting them handle it.
That's a whole nother thing if you don't do it yourself.
Yes, right, exactly. But at least it takes the burden off of us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And we're in negotiations for another company to do to have our beers from Wichita to Topeka.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep growing. I'm in 5 years. If I am not in the 5 surrounding states, I'm fucking up.
Okay, heard.
And matter of fact, I'm trying to get a hold of whoever runs APHIS. So you know what APHIS is?
Yeah. The Air Force,
and any military installation has APHIS, the Army Air Force Exchange.
Yeah.
And if I can get into the BX or the Class 6,
oh my God,
then
that'd be huge.
That's a huge game changer.
That'd be huge.
Yes.
Because they're buying beer on the base.
Yes, they
but
are.
What are they buying? Bullshit, probably.
Yeah. Well, I know that. Dog Tag Brewing Company did pretty good on bases.
Where are they out of? Dog Tag?
Yeah. They would actually have an individual's name on on the can.
Wow.
No shit.
Wow.
It was deep, and they sold. I can't remember where they're at. I haven't seen them around in a while, but
You have to look them up.
If they can do it, we can do it.
I mean, heard. I mean, trust me. Look around. you got.
I mean, look, if you can do
Something might be small, but not your dreams.
Wow. I like that. You had to go there.
I was trying to
Fucking
to
memory
say that
lane.
without doing that, but you just went there. I'm going all in.
I kept it nice. It was fine.
Hey. Oh, so many jokes. But, so on me.
Well, here we are.
Here we are. I'll tell you what the biggest form of gratification was for this entire project, though, is probably about 3 or 4 months ago. Jennifer and I are at Hy-Vee off of Berry Road, and we were buying some liquor, so we're at the liquor store part. And the guy in front of me had a 6-pack of Freedom American Lager.
Oh, no shit.
Nice.
And I was like, hey, so I tap him on the shoulder and asked if I could autograph one of the cans.
Yes.
And then a buddy of mine, he was actually out of Liberty. He was waiting in line with his own 6-pack of, I think he was getting the Observer. But the guy in front of him had the Bomber Brown Ale.
Yeah.
He was like, Steve, check this out, man.
So how's this show been going?
Yeah, it's going decent. You know, they're still small accounts. There's still a lot of
but it's out there though.
It is out there.
It's people who maybe have never been here.
Yes,
you know that's the thing.
And I just revamped all our labels, and we also made posters out of every single one of the labels that we have.
That's smart.
And somebody on the Kansas side, because we just started that distribution, was at a bowling alley, and they have our wheats, the Huey American wheat at the bowling alley, and they put up a poster for Huey American wheat on tap. I was like, fucking A.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you. I mean, that's seeing that.
That's a smart thing to do, because the poster thing.
Yeah.
The only other brewery I know that does it is Fringe.
Yep.
And those posters, you can buy those. So that's who doesn't want a beer poster?
Yeah.
At their house.
That's a good idea.
Well, that's like back in the 80s, you'd get the movie posters, remember?
For y'all's branding, if you did posters, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's
Hood Saison poster.
Oh, people would love that shit.
Look, you just put the logo on there. I mean,
Right.
because Maris is beautiful.
Yeah.
Give me a Maris poster. I'm buying 7.
I need a Maris 10-tacker.
That's in the works. We're working on that.
Let's go. I need something. Otherwise, I'm going to steal the one off that door. That.
Well, we'll be there in a couple weeks.
That's what I hear.
1 week.
In 1 week.
1 week.
Nigel's going to be in thievery mode.
No, I'm not going to steal it. Oh, I'll get my own. I'm just
trying to get you in trouble.
I'm going to make it a fathead.
Yes.
Yes. Welcome back to the party.
I'm here.
Well done, sir. I feel like that was strong enough to make up for Annie.
Fuck.
Wow.
I don't want to be X'd out yet. We can't end this podcast.
Real. I think before the end of the show, Annie needs to choke the chicken.
Whoa.
You want to go get the chicken?
I'll do the chicken.
We got one more mystery beer.
No, it
can't be on camera?
Well, no, it can be on camera, but
it has to be a certain beer?
Yeah, because it just does not flow well if it's like an IPA or a brown ale. It needs to be something lighter, because otherwise, that's
not a light beer down there.
No, I saw somebody try and chug an IPA, and it
You're
literally.
Trying. Yeah,
that was good effort.
Hercules.
I saw somebody try to chug an IPA once, and it literally came out of their nose.
That would not
through.
be good.
Yeah.
No.
I can't chug though.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I am not a chugger.
I bet she can't chug.
I can't chug anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you can, but it's not going to go well.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah, it's going to hurt.
Do not.
That might be our first Yoda in 112 episodes.
I love it.
Chug the beer, you must.
Chug or chug not.
That was pretty good. Bro, it's been great to have you on, man. I feel like we need to do another episode, because we didn't cover half the shit. There was the whole situation with the cord, and the situation with the bottle.
I mean, without editing, we're at almost 2 hours.
I know. We're gonna have to do a part 2.
I'm good with that.
Or maybe we'll just come on his podcast.
Actually, I was just about to say that.
Crossover.
Yes.
Yep. Plus, he's got a guy that he should have been here.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. But we're gonna connect you with Celebrity Salute and the National Defense Network.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be phenomenal. And and we'll talk off camera about American Brewed. The little bit of help that we can get, the better off we are. And it's not going to stop there. So I got this cool commercial idea. I've got like three commercials that I want to run. And I'll tell you about the Freedom American Lager one. This is real cute. You're gonna love it. It starts off to 3 segments, and it starts off with a dude in jail. Actually, it'll probably be me. And Clay County said that they'll let me use one of their facilities to actually do this. And
they just need you to rob a bank first.
No, there's not going to be any real crime.
Except for the acting.
This is very true. Hey, you know what? You got to start somewhere. And even if they're cheesy, as long as people, smile or laugh, then you're getting your point across. And starts off in jail. So there's 3 scenes. You revisit each one twice, and then there's 3 scenes for the closeout. So I'm in jail, and it kind of pans out. I just want freedom. It goes to a court scene. Husband and wife are sitting there. Judge looks down at the paper. Husband's got everything. And then he looks over at the wife. Don't you want anything out of this? I want freedom. Then it goes to a Revolutionary War period. Wife's putting the Minuteman hat on her husband. And he says, I'm doing this for freedom. Goes back to jail. So it rotates back to the jail scene. Parole approved. He goes out. Bus picks him up. Then it goes back to the court scene. Divorce approved. She runs out. Then it goes back to the Revolutionary War period. And the guy and a buddy, 2 Minutemen, are on horseback screaming freedom off the camera. Next scene is me walking into the brewery in the jail suit, coming up to the bar, looking around, and the bartender's like, let me guess, freedom. You want freedom. Freedom American Lager by Callsign Brewing. Now, before that even happens, right, the wife and the Minuteman are sitting there with their freedom already. So he gets his freedom, and then he takes a sip, and then the very, very last scene is, at the end of the bar, is the other Minuteman, the husband, and the other prisoner at the end of the bar, just like freedom. And that's how
fantastic.
I love that. I love that commercial. But Nigel, you know what else he needs in there? He needs a bottle of freedom.
Oh, that's right.
So every 4th of July.
Breaking news.
Every 4th of July.
Next bottle of freedom.
I mix up a batch of what I call freedom.
Okay.
For every shot
I'm almost scared.
For every shot you take, a red coat dies.
Delicious but scary, yes.
I mean, that's our motto. Every shot you take, a red coat dies. Shit. Sorry about that.
I know.
Sorry about you.
You guys escaped. It's fine.
Squatters' rights. So it is the recipe of the rum punch from George Washington's inaugural party.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's wild. I mix up every year. It's this crazy ass rum punch. Will knock you on your ass, but it is so good.
It'll make you free.
Nigel is partaking of freedom.
Oh, it's delicious.
I mean, he doesn't enjoy it as much because of his British ancestry.
Oh no, I'm from Oklahoma. Remember?
Oh, hey, we got to admit it. I win.
No, that's giving you shit.
I win. 'Twas ever so.
You didn't. 'Twas not.
I couldn't picture Nigel wearing a red coat.
I'm not. Red's not really my color.
I will. You know what? I'm going to remember that for this summer. When I make up a batch, I need to bring a bottle up here for you.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
I can think of another place you can drop one off at.
I got you, fam.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Steve, thanks for coming on, bro.
No, thank you for having me. This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, we probably need to do another episode. I'm just gonna call it. Yeah, we didn't come up. We should bring you to the studio.
He needs to come to the vault.
Yeah, come to the vault.
Or we come back when there's a live studio audience.
He's
well done.
He's on
I'm learning
the burp game right now. So tell people where they can find Callsign on the socials.
Okay, so we're on Facebook and Twitter, and what are you looking at?
No,
the camera keeps dropping.
No, he's halfway in it.
Hold on, here you go.
Like he's looking around the corner.
No, it'll be fine because it's full screen recorded.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So it's good.
It's weird now, though.
You're fine.
Go ahead.
Nobody wants Nigel in there.
Phrasing.
So, So we're Callsign Brewing on Facebook, www.callsignbrewing.com. And we're located in North Kansas City at 1340 Gentry Street. And, it's my home.
I'm just gonna throw something out there.
Yeah.
It's 2024. You don't have to say www.
But I wanted to.
Did it feel good?
Actually, it did.
Did it feel good?
Hey, I want to tell you something. I don't know if you know this or not.
What's that?
Us old white men, we don't like change.
You're not old. You just look old.
Oh, yeah, it's just the grays.
Yeah.
You notice he's saying, you're not white.
No.
Probably not full bred. I'm going to put money on that. You're mixed with something.
Jesus Christ.
AKA crazy.
That's fair. That's fair.
So before we talk about where they can find us, April 12th, 13th.
Yes.
Come get your tickets. Vine Street, One Pint at a Time event.
BeersWithNigel.com.
Yeah.
Get your link. You get all the info. You can get to the tickets.
Podcast, bottle share, film,
Panel discussion,
after party. Oh, and to your point, we didn't talk about, there's 4 collabs going on in Kansas City.
So on the Thursday, all of our VIPs, so most of the cast and the filmmakers are going to be in town. They're pairing up with 4 local KC breweries. We're going to have a One Pint at a Time collab happening.
With the proceeds going to the...
And proceeds will go to the National Black Brewers Association.
And the...
Proceeds from the event will go to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, the American Jazz Museum, and the National Black Brewers Association.
Yeah. So 4 collabs. Diametric. Dave Bracey from Barrel and Flow. Honey Blonde. Buckwheat Honey Blonde.
Yes.
They're going to do a twist on it. Crowns and Hops. Doing it at Vine Street.
Mm-hmm.
At Vine Street. Bree Burrows. Right up here in North Kansas City.
Big rep.
Alicia or Elisa. We haven't quite figured out how to...
Right?
Alyssa. What?
Alyssa.
Whatever. We're gonna. Is it Alyssa?
look.
Did she tell you that?
The
No.
most.
I just heard her say it.
The most badass woman in beer.
Yeah.
Period.
So I'm almost going to turn into a triple collab because I'm actually going to go brew with them in the morning.
Okay.
Cool.
Because I want to hang out with the ladies.
Heard.
And then because Tio doesn't come until late in the afternoon.
I'm coming to see that shit for sure.
So I'm gonna,
we're going to be there.
Yeah.
And then don't forget
Aaron and Brigitte, the filmmakers themselves.
brewing at Transparent Brewing.
Cool.
So they're all going to do their own riff on this buckwheat honey
Yeah.
blonde.
Buckwheat Honey Blonde. Yeah.
And look, and hey, here's the other thing too. For you other KC area breweries, if you just want to do your own riff and take part in it,
Yeah.
do it.
Or donate some beer for the
or
bottle
donate
share.
some beer to the bottle share.
You know what? Count me in. Count me in.
Sold.
Sick.
Do it.
Oh, yeah.
We'll give you the base recipe. You do your riff.
Absolutely.
Of course you will.
Yes. Absolutely. The gears are turning. Dude.
Yeah, he's already.
Nice.
He's
Well,
already thinking.
Have you ever brewed with buckwheat honey?
Nope.
You ever had buckwheat honey?
No.
It's the most fire honey you ever have in your life. Obviously, it's from Ohio, Buckeyes.
Right.
So that the bees feed on that honey.
Right.
It's brown. It's dark brown. It's like a stout. It really is. It's some of the best honey you'll ever have if you've never had it. The first time I ever had it, Downtown Days or Oktoberfest and Lee Summit, my buddy brought some. I'm like, that needs to be in a beer. So the first time we did a beer, one of my first collabs was at the Diametric, and we did a buckwheat honey stout because it's very stouty. You know what the name was? You remember?
I can't remember. I'm trying to remember it, but I can't.
Making Plans for Nigel.
That's right. Which, if you know Nigel, that's hilarious.
And if you don't know the song, you should.
Yeah.
It's a great British band, Ecstasy.
I thought it was an Oklahoma band.
We should. Oh. Can you give us at least the hook? What does it sound
I'm
like?
only making plans for Nigel. We're only making plans for him. Yeah.
Nice.
You know what? I don't want to do anything else. I just want to close it now.
You got to tell them where can they find us? Where do they get the ticket? Get your tickets at beerswithnigel.com.
BeersWithNigel.com. You can get all the info about our event on April 12th and 13th, partnering with the most awesome friends that we have at Vine Street Brewing.
Our podcast daddies.
Our podcast daddies, Rhythm Brewing.
All our Barrel and Flow friends.
I mean, seriously. And folks, make plans to road trip with us to Barrel and Flow too.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
We got our tickets for Barrel and Flow.
But if you want to listen to the Beers with Nigel podcast, you can do
where
it.
we at? Where we stay
You can do
at?
it on Apple Podcasts. As of today, Google Podcasts is no longer a thing. It's all on YouTube. So go to the YouTubes. Yes.
So the audio and the video is on YouTube now?
Yeah. It's all through the YouTube Music app now.
Okay.
Nice. That makes it easy, doesn't it?
It does. I don't have to go to, well, you just put it out there. It's fine. Yeah. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify.
This is my producer. We'll just put it out there. It's fine.
iHeartRadio. Nigel. Wait a minute. I'm going to look over at Katie. You got them smart devices around your house?
No, she does not. No, she's got a dumb phone.
She got a dumb phone. Actually, I've seen her flip phone.
Yeah.
That thing is, you have to try.
No.
It's
you on purpose.
Are you for real?
She has a flip
you should
phone.
see this shit.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what she calls our phones?
Wow.
Silly phones.
Yep. That's what she called mine the other day when she came by the brewery. And I pulled my phone out to look up something. She's like, those are silly phones.
I mean, does that even have a camera?
2.5 megapixel.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 2 megapixel camera.
And I bet texting is a bitch on that thing.
Well, she can text. You can't get emojis.
Yeah, there's
No emojis.
So you got to LOL her.
Fucking
awesome.
hilarious.
You got to type out your emotions.
Well, for those of you that don't have the dumb phones, if you got them smart speaker devices,
if you have a silly phone
at your house, you can even do the "Hey Alexa, play the Beers with Nigel" podcast, and it works.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try that.
you could probably do it on Apple as well. I bet.
I don't know if you can or not.
We're gonna try it when we get down here.
We're gonna try it. We're gonna see what works.
Hey Siri.
You can also follow Beers with Nigel because he does the social media stuff on Facebook, on Instagram, and even on the artist formerly known as Tweeter.
Thank you, the tweeter.
You guys don't have a TikTok yet?
We've been talking about it.
We've been talking about it, but
I'm not TikTok-y.
men of a certain age learning new things.
That has nothing.
Hard.
That's actually, as I'm learning, that has nothing to fucking do with it, bro.
Okay,
It is a different vibe.
Okay,
it really is.
I'm just a lazy son of a bitch. How about that?
I'm right there with you.
Like learning new things.
These guys are cute, lazy.
Kimmett's tried to do the TikTok for Vine Street. It's just not.
God love him.
No, it's just. I don't think it's for any of us. Like it's just.
Yeah.
It's a whole different kind of.
I did a TikTok type video for the brewery the other day because what we learned is there's a whole, we're trying to find what the trends are. So one of the TikTok trends is I give you a beer, or I give everyone a beer here, and you have to react to it without speaking and just with facial expressions. I did one of those.
How'd it go over?
It was fucking hilarious.
So if you look like a cat spitting out a hairball, it wasn't good.
No, this is the thing. You have to like the beer. You just got to fucking react. So one of my buddies, he was my laugh guy on there, and he had never had it, and his facial
They're like, I'm
expressions.
settling in for this story. It's gonna be a while.
He had some great facial expressions, and then he chugged the whole beer. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I got like 400 views on that one video.
Nice.
That's cool.
TikTok-ish. Here we are. TikTok-ish. It wasn't on TikTok.
That and Reels, man. That is going to be overtaking everything.
That's all I do is Reels.
You got to
bro.
do videos now.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yep.
We do
Typing
Reels.
shit doesn't do anything.
Oh, okay. You're gonna. Well, everybody should like this one. If not, you're
Unless
just
you
a
don't.
racial bastard. Next year, we're actually gonna do, and I've got to get the Tuskegee Airmen Association involved because we are going to make a video and a beer to honor them.
I love you have this. You have the photos. I love it.
That is
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
But it's going to take it a step further. The video is going to be like a 4-minute video of the brand new airmen learning or going through flight school and learning how to fly with the Red Tails. The Red Tails are identified as the Tuskegee Airmen during World War II.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a process, and they learn how to fly on several different trainers, but the P-40 was one of the big ones. And I'm already looking for some. I need about 7 actors to actually portray the students to become those pilots. And we're going to release a beer, and we're going to donate some of those proceeds to the Tuskegee Airmen Association.
Oh, heard.
And
That's awesome.
I got to start writing this because it's going to get released for next year, obviously. But I'm all excited about this shit. The label will be that picture in the bathroom.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That is amazing.
I'm an actor.
Yeah, keep me posted on that one.
Yeah, I'm an
absolutely.
actor.
Hey, keep
I can be in it.
telling those stories, man. Keep
I could-
all
I'm a-
that shit alive.
I'm an actor.
You're a bad actor.
Yeah.
You know what?
Who wants a good actor?
You know what? Good night, folks.
You've been listening to Beers with Nigel, a show about beer and other stuff, hosted by Nigel Woodbury and that other guy, Nick Parker. Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, providing bumper-to-bumper graphic design, promo products, and print services. Find them at direoil.com. Beers with Nigel is a proud member of the Fredcast Network and is available on all of your favorite podcast flavors. Find Beers with Nigel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and ask Alexa to play the Beers with Nigel podcast.